Well, so Mars has changed signs and it's gone into the sign of Virgo, so I thought I would go through all 12 signs of the zodiac and tell them where they can expect to put their energy over the next 6 weeks or so. So starting with Geminis, they're cleaning it up at home. They're going to make like a white tornado, and they're just going to take care of matters at home because they need to solidify their foundations. If their foundations are solid, they'll be able to go ahead out and do the stuff they need to do, but for them, the real focus over the next 6 weeks is cleaning up issues at home. For Cancers, the pace of their day-to-day living picks up to near warp speed. They've spent a ton of money over the last 6 months or so, and that's over now, and now they have places to go, people to see, things to do, opportunities to seize, contracts and negotiations, and legal matters, especially in the lower courts, go really, really well for Cancers over the next 6 weeks or so. For Leos, they spent the last 6 months trying to project their ego out into the world, and now they're just going to spend a ton of money over the next 6 weeks or so. And the nice thing is that it's not on unanticipated expenses. It's in the act of purchasing things, which I know will make Mason's wife pretty happy about that. So, for Virgos, Mars is in their sign. They have been having to bite their lip and hold their tongue for the last 6 months or so. That has come to an end. Mars is in the sign of Virgo, and they are going to unzip their lip. And my advice to Virgos is pick and choose your battles carefully and pick and choose your words carefully, because you want to come off as assertive, not aggressive. But Mars in your sign for Virgo really fires them up. For Libras, it's not so much energy. Libras, over the last 6 months, have really worked very hard to carve out to get their hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and now they have to incorporate that into their daily living, and they need to finish up things rather than start new ones, and they'll probably have to give a little more than they get, which never sits well with them, but whatever it is they've been struggling with since October actually comes to be for them. For Scorpios, it is now time for them to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective, and Scorpios have to know that it's going to take a team effort to do it rather than an individual effort, and that if they get the help of a light-eyed female or a green-eyed female, they should graciously say thank you and take them up on that, because they need somebody else's assistance to make it happen. For Sagittarians, they're in the spotlight professionally, one way or the other, and it's almost like the fight is on in their profession, and it's going to be the details that either trip up a Sagittarian or give them the edge to succeed. It depends on how it is that they apply their energy, but their emphasis now over the next 6 weeks is on their career and public standing now that the legal stuff is all done. For Capricorn, it's time for them to hit the road. Legal matters go well, educational matters, important matters at a distance. Capricorns have spent a ton of money over the last 6 months, and that is finally over. And now the law's on their side, and they need to use it to get what it is that they want. For Aquarians, they're the other sign that's spending a ton of money, and where Leos are spending money on having a good time, Aquarians are spending money on fixing things, unanticipated expenses, and my advice is do it right the first time. Don't cheap out, don't nickel and dime it, because you'll end up spending more money at the end of 6 weeks than if you just did it right in the very beginning. For Pisces, Mars is opposing their sign. They've had a work battle for 6 months. That's over, and now they get to put their money where their mouth is, and they're going to be, Pisces have said, you know, if I was in charge, I'd do this, this, and this, and the universe is going to go, okay, but they're going to have to be able to defend their actions. For Aries, their work structure is changing, not their profession, but how it is they do their job, and some kind of obstacle that had been in their way moves out of their way, and and the result for the Aries is they have a much clearer career path, and also they're worried about a medical outcome, and it really is not nearly as bad as they're afraid that it is, so they need to take action about that because the news is better than they think. For Taurus, is the last sign of the zodiac. They just want to have fun, which is probably why Mason's going to spend a ton of money. Because for Tauruses, they really, amusement, sports, entertainment, creativity, their creative juices are flowing, and they want to find a way to take something that is a child of their mind and give birth to it and actually bring it to be. But the beauty of it is it's a direct byproduct of that Taurus's creativity. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac.